fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week.
The Money Line. We are live talking some UFC Vegas 107. I am AJ, joined as always by my guy Mike Finch. What's up, big dog?
I'm good, y'all. Just got off of, first of all, had COVID for the first time. That was fucking awesome. I had COVID 25. I guess it's not COVID-19 anymore, right? Whatever the fuck this thing is.
Shit.
Couldn't taste my cran grape. Had the flu. That sucked. And then right into a Hawaii vacation. I actually got better right before I went to Hawaii, so that worked out. Little tan. Got a little tan. Your boy a little bit tan. So
you look dark, man. You look dark, bro.
When hung out with the fam in Maui. So yeah, just had a whirlwind of 2 weeks here, but we back, baby.
We're back on top. I'm excited to be back, and we already got donos coming in. We got Jax the Barber becoming a member. Shout out to you, bro. Big W. We got Trading Champ with the $300 dono to start it off on the show.
Holy, the Trading Champ. I'll reach out and shake your hand. Absolutely, Trading Champ. Thank you so much. Jeez. Trading Champ, but he's trying to help me with the plane ticket. You know what I'm saying? He's
covering both of us. I got flights I just booked, so this is helping me out big time. Thank you, dude.
Where you going, dog?
I'm going to first. I'm going to the Northeast, Jersey first. Maybe a little New York City visit, and then going to Maine for July 4th weekend.
I mean, Trading Champ, if you want to fund it, we'll do a live money line. I'm trying to get AJ the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So
funded by Trading, he buys the tickets and shit, buys everything.
Trading Champ don't give a fuck. We'll do it. We'll do a Trading Champ sponsored show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Big W, Trading Champ, always generous as fuck. Thank you for the $300, you savage. Trevbot, thank you for $199, big dog. Late Finch J, that's funny as fuck. So, Finch, I don't know if you know my live streams. Everything is J, Late J, Stone J, Baby J. That's everything. It's like that's what everybody's nickname they give me. And I guess now you're Late Finch J.
Finch J. I'll add it to the long list of nicknames. Thank you, Trevbot. Good to get the ball rolling. Let's go.
Let's go. Big news on the channel, though. I don't know if you know this. So I host a late night live show, and I bring members on. I know you've seen it. A buddy of the show and a mod of the channel, KZ, is throwing kicks at the bag, tears his ACL on stream 2 weeks ago. Yeah, he's in recovery right now. It was on point. The kicks were money to our boy. I got to shout out KZ, give him all the love. He ends up tearing his shit. So well wishes from the show.
No, I missed it, bro. Yeah. I missed it. Yo, which show is it? Late Night Live?
It was Late Night Live last week. We went over it. It's watched last night. We went over the clips and shit.
Crazy, KZ. Yo, I tore my lower back throwing a kick without warming up years ago. I was training this dude from the UK. What's his name? I'd love to give him a shout out, but just no warm up, dude. You got to warm up. You got to warm your body up. Your body's like your tendons, right? They're like rubber bands. So if you got a cold rubber band and you stretch it, it could break. But when you got a warm rubber band, that shit is elastic, right? So warm your body up right before kicking on stream, KZ.
He's getting surgery this Saturday. No joke. This is real shit. Yeah.
That's crazy, KZ. I'm sorry to hear, man. Really take care of yourself. Do the rehab proper.
Yeah. Well wishes to KZ. Fuck, man. Legend of the fucking channel. All right.
He was trying to entertain y'all. Do you see what the fuck we do to entertain you people?
No.
Gave his knee.
Gave his knee for the community, but he got up and kept swinging. How many fighters laid down after tearing this shit?
Stop. I hope he did.
I swear he tore it. He got up and kept swinging. I said, this guy's a savage, man. Tom Aspinall could never.
He'd be laying there like Peter Griffin, grabbing his knee. KZ, take care of yourself, bro.
Savage, man. Shout out to you, KZ. Yo, well wishes on the surgery. Sucks, bro. You're not going to be on stream Saturday? Fuck. Well, I hope you catch the end at least. And you'll get a scintillating well wishes shout out this Saturday from me. I got you, bro. I got you big time. So in other news, though, We're still waiting on a John Jones, Tom Aspinall fight. What really has happened as of late? We got the UFC potentially on Netflix, which is really exciting. Yeah, man. We're kind of
UFC a Netflix thing. I'm out of the loop on. Somebody else just told me that today. However, John Jones fighting Tom Aspinall, not going to happen. Not going to happen. John's priced himself out of the fight because he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to do that. He's not going to do that. He's in fucking Thailand. Okay, party.
He's hosting a show in Thailand.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's having a great fucking time. You know,
it looks like he is. Yeah,
always behaves himself.
He's not getting in trouble in Thailand. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep a lookout. But you know, I think that John Jones is done.
Okay. All right.
If you gave John a fight that he felt he would dominate, he would take it. And post Stipe, I don't think that's going to happen. So,
shit. You know. Well, I hope you're wrong, Finch, man, because I really want to see the Tom Aspinall John Jones fight.
Yeah, that is the fight. You know, it's kind of crazy that they still let him have the belt right now. It's like, why is he babysitting this belt? The whole world knows that he's not trying to defend it. You know, it's a very obvious. I mean, his profile picture has been a duck on X for how long now? You know,
months.
You know, it's like, what? This is crazy. So,
did you see the
John
petition?
Jones is not fighting Tom Aspinall. No, it's not happening. Did I see what?
You see the petition is 150,000 signatures. Strip John Jones petition.
Should I add one to it?
You honestly, you sound like you're adding to it, man.
The last MMA petition I signed was when Nick Diaz was suspended for marijuana. I remember I signed that petition, free Nick Diaz petition, you know,
which was good.
So we needed that one. But for John to be stripped, I mean, come on, you know who makes that call. His name initials are DW.
I hope that we get the fight. I hope they pay John Jones whatever he wants. Fuck outpricing. All right, you want 30 million? Well, here's your 30 million, John Jones. That's it. $30 million. This is an investment in heavyweight. This is an investment in the sport. I think it's worthwhile to make it. And even if, you know, they're going to pay him more money, because I think heavyweight division is kind of at like a dull point, right? And I feel like we don't have necessarily a dull champion in Tom Aspinall or John Jones. Regardless, though, I'm viewing Tom Aspinall as the future of this weight class. He's a one-of-a-kind talent, and I think for his legacy and his true introduction to the world title, I think a win over John Jones would be, I think, game-changing. I really do. It would be like a great passing of the torch to, you know, the next potential great. I think heavyweight could also use a little grease, like have John Jones Aspinall fight, and then, I don't know, raise the bar of heavyweight. Maybe it's like inspiring for maybe, you know, prospects on the come up or people that are interested in, you know, starting. Because I don't know, like I feel like heavyweight is never really made much of a jump. Like, yes, the top 7 is good, but like it is just, there's so much mediocrity at heavyweight. I really do hope that the division thickens a bit. I don't know how that happens, really, besides a little bit of luck, the genetic fucking pool, and hopefully we're getting some guys coming through that have some natural talent. But I think heavyweight right now feels dull, so I will pray that we get a better heavyweight division.
Yeah, you got Cyril Gahn, Alex Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich, Jailton Almeida is back in the mix. I mean, you know, there are some fun ones for sure.
Those guys are all good.
I feel like you could start fucking mashing them up. I feel like what's the hold up here? Why keep Tom on the shelf? Why keep Tom on the shelf? Clearly, he's the heavyweight champion. Clearly, John Jones just went up and fought Stipe. You know, and gone, of course. So, yeah, man. I think the path forward is obvious. You give Tom a fight, and you give it to him now, and you give it to him quick, and you keep him active. He wants to be active. Let him fight. He's in his prime. You know, we should be seeing 3 Tom Aspinall fights a year.
That would be fucking amazing. I think you go Jailton Almeida versus Volkov. I think that's a good fight. If John's not going to fight, then Cyril Gahn's probably going to fight against Tom Aspinall in the vacant title fight, or I don't know if they'll elevate him to champ. But I do think we have to get some news relatively soon, within, you know, the next 8 weeks, I feel like. Because this heavyweight division seems non-existent. And I personally feel like when heavyweight's doing well, it kind of elevates every weight class below. I'm a bit of a heavyweight fan because, like, the baddest man on the planet, that means something, man. I feel like there's always a spectacle to that. So the fact that it's like not there right now, and it feels like it's been years since we've had a baddest man on the planet fight, it's just weird to me. It's a strange time.
No, you made a fair point, which is that John Jones gives the rub. Like, you know, the highlight of Tom Aspinall throwing right hand, left hook through John Jones' chin and him falling. That gives the heavyweight division this gasoline, you know, this oil that it needs to start this fire. And you know, without that, the fire won't rage as high. However, it needs to not just sit and collect cobwebs. I mean, we have literally the exact opposite. At least keep the heavyweight champion active. I hope John Jones is matched up with something like a Jailton Almeida, or a, you know, if Volkov can get the rematch with Cyril Gane or something like this. We need to get a top contender ASAP. You know, there's some talent at heavyweight. If they can find matchups for the 125 and 135 pound divisions, they could find matchups at heavyweight. This is you know, this is a matter of matchmaking.
Agreed. Now, before we get into the picks, I want to make a quick announcement. Tomorrow is episode 100 of my lunchtime live show. Been doing the afternoon lives, bro. All 2025. That's when I started the show up, and I'm really excited for the 100th installment, man. There've been 99 bangers, and now we got number 100, and I got a special guest, UFC fighter guest, former ranked fighter that's going to be joining the show live tomorrow afternoon. So very, very special show for you guys on the 100th episode.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready to get into these picks, man. I'm ready to bring the thunder.
As am I. The UFC's back with a card where I know you guys see the lady headliners and you judge it, but we got some matchups on this card that are hard to call. There's no 7-1 favorites on this fucking card. You know, they got a lot of matchups that are dynamic to break down and tough to make picks on, and it's what the fuck we do here.
Let's go. Let's jump right into it. Fight number 1 on the card, we have Rayani dos Santos versus Elise Ardelean. I'm going to pick the side of Rayani dos Santos to win. I like her striking more so than Ardelean's. I think she's a little bit faster, a little more versatile with her kickboxing game. I will say Ardelean has solid pressure, but she's also not like too beastly of a grappler. And I think that dos Santos does have relatively good jiu-jitsu skills, enough so to, at worst, I think, eliminate the threat of wrestling and control from Ardelean. And then when I think about the striking, I see more weapons on the side of dos Santos. It's women's MMA at, 115, and girls that are towards, the lower end, to say it nicely, of the women's strawweight division. I'll go with dos Santos by a decision. Ardelean's tough, though. She's a dog. She's pressure heavy. But I think dos Santos should be a bit better. What do you think, Finch?
This fight has split decision written all over it. You look at these records and you're surprised that they're in the UFC. You know, if they could keep the ladies divisions going, they can keep the fucking heavyweight division going. Okay. Jesus. I think both of them have inexcusable losses. You know, Ran dos Santos, or there's also another name she has, Ran Amanda.
What is it? Was Amanda for the longest time. Now it's dos Santos. I don't know.
So, well, I assume she got married. Congratulations, Ran. Puja Tomar can't be losing a split decision to Puja Tomar in a razor thin fight. Same thing with the split decision to Shauna Bannon for Ardelean. You can't be losing split decisions to Shauna Bannon. It's a bad look. It makes me not want to, run out and trust you to win a fight. I do think this going to a split decision is very likely. Dos Santos's mobility and distance striking could probably come through here. Slightly younger of the two, and I mean, Talita Alencar is pretty good. You could respect that split decision at least. I do think she can eke out a 29-28, but my God, I mean, as far as reliability goes, you're not finding it on this line.
No, reliability is not what the odds of this fight or the outcome of this fight brings. But what I do think might be reliable is an over 2.5 rounds at -450. I think it's relatively low likelihood that we see the side of Rayani Amanda knockout or submit Elise Ardelean. And I would say on the contrary, it's relatively low likely as far as the same outcome. I think decision makes a lot of sense. Fight goes distance, or the over 2.5 seems pretty live. Of course, the odds reflect that in the minus 450 range. But yes, Amanda by decision is the official prediction. Am I going out and betting money on Rayani Amanda or Elise Ardelean? And for a matter of fact, no. But I think over is live. Maybe throw that in a parlay or something like that.
Over is extremely live here. Those odds were not crazy for the over. I mean, those odds are not good for anything, but the likelihood, very high.
Let's go. Finchman and I both on the same side. Let's move up to the damn next fight. We have new fight, Bolaji versus Michael Aswell. Aswell stepping in and replacing Markel Medeiros, former guest at a Lunchtime Live. Shout out to him. He was the first fighter on Lunchtime Live.
And who AJ picked to beat Oki.
I was picking him, but he's out now. So now we have a new conversation. Aswell is gritty. He's got good boxing pressure. He definitely can wrestle a bit. Seems to have a solid chin too. And I would say a action heavy style for sure. Bolaji is naturally larger, a weight class bigger, naturally lightweight versus normally a featherweight. Reach advantage of about 4 inches. Taller, I think just naturally thicker framed. Big power in his hands, solid boxing. I have to assume that Bolaji pulls through in this fight. But I definitely feel like Aswell could make it tough. Like to say, oh, well, Bolaji by KO. I'd love to say that from what Oki did on Contender, but I'm thinking of the Timmy Kawamba fight. He's in a back and forth battle. And, you know, Kawamba, Aswell, I think maybe Kawamba's a little sharper, but Aswell's gritty, maybe even grittier. I'll say Oki pulls through. I do think he wins. It's just a matter of how does he do it. And I'm curious your take on this. I'm assuming you're picking Oki, which maybe I'm overly assuming.
No, you're right. I'm picking Oki. I was considering picking against him in the previous matchup against Medeiros because you know, Medeiros' movement and ability to be more dynamic than Oki. The thing Oki has going for him is he's got a lot of power and they're in a little cage. So if he can walk forward, you know, bang the right hand down the pipe, you could potentially see him, you know, getting Aswell out of there. So what is it? The Texas Kid? Is that the nickname? I think could get knocked out. I think Oki via KO is live. I'll go with it.
Okay. Oki KO for the Finchman. I like the method of victory call. And I like Omni Polarity dropping 199. Thank you for the super sticker, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Very cool.
We got Mitchell Tannis too. Nobody's playing around tonight. They're bringing the savagery. 199. Thank you, Mitchell Tannis. Much love to my guys, Finch and AJ, Money Parlays. Hey, thank you, bro. Love you, dog.
Much love to you, Tannis. Thank you for being here.
Let's go.
Look, man, I think these guys are going to have a good fight. I think it's a fun matchup. In the little cage, it's just better for Oki. Like the best thing you could do to Oki is just stick and move, kind of avoid banging with him, you know? And if Oki can get a couple of exchanges, I think he can get him out of there.
And the thing is, I don't see Aswell as a guy that's going to pick his shots and stick and move, even if they were in a larger cage. With Aswell, I like his pressure, you know, and I feel like at 145, it's very effective. And he's, you know, a solid 24-year-old prospect, but he's fighting a guy 5 years older than him, primed, bigger, more explosive. Like Bolaji is a bit of a freak athlete too. So yeah, I'm going with Oki. I'm there with you. Now, as far as the odds for the fight, minus 365 for Oki, large favorite. I do think he wins. It'd be a big upset if Aswell goes out there and beats Oki. And then looking at Oki by KO plus 145, man, KO or decision is like my call. Picking between the two is rough because I definitely think Aswell's got a chin on him. If you look, I mean, the dude's never been finished as a professional fighter. And he fought Yadir Del Valle, who's a fucking powerhouse. We saw that in his UFC debut, absolutely destroying Matthews with his grappling. And then he also went to a split decision with Bogdan Grad, who's a good striker. But yeah, I think this is Bolaji Oki's fight. He might drop him though. And so he could put him out. It'd be good for Oki's career if you put him out.
Yeah, Bogdan Grad's decent, but you know, I think Oki hits with a little more power, and he needs to bounce back. You know, I don't love the odds though, so that sucks.
Yeah, odds suck, but is what it is. Pick Bolaji Oki. He should pull through. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. This is a fun one. We have the second Gustafsson of all time in the UFC, Andreas Gustafsson, Bane versus Trevin Giles. My pick is Andreas Gustafsson. You guys know I like him as a parlay piece this week if you've tuned in throughout it. I think with Gustafsson, it's a matter of styles making the fight. Trevin Giles, 3-fight losing streak. Good striker from mid and long range. He's got relatively quick hands. I like the way he throws his hooks. Definitely has some combos, but chin has been tested a fair amount. He's been put out. He's also been out dogged before, getting pressed backwards and, I don't know, smothered against the cage by Gustafsson's relentless pressure style. Seems pretty likely here. Gustafsson's nasty with dirty boxing and just Muay Thai in general, knees to the body, just making it a grimy fight. And Trevin Giles coming in on a week notice. I feel like, I don't like to say like a fighter, oh, he's just taking it for the check. But to step into this spot when you're on a 3-fight losing streak, I just think that's not necessarily, that's not a great decision. Like, I think this is, because this could be the walking papers fight for Trevin Giles. And Gustafsson, he's physically a beast. I mean, the guy's in phenomenal shape. He's tough as fuck. Like, yeah, he's been cracked a lot as a pro fighter, but the chin seems really solid. And he's willing to absorb a lot of damage. And I feel like, especially coming in on short notice, I could see Giles fatiguing. And I think Gustafsson could knock him out later. Now, interesting caveat to this is it's at 180 pounds, not 170 pounds, catch weight. But yeah, I'll go Gustafsson TKO. I think he finishes Giles in a dogfight.
I mean, that's what he normally does, right? 8 of his wins by knockout. Giles also isn't a full-time fighter, AJ. He's a police officer too. So, 10 pounds up, short notice. How in camp is he? I tried to stalk the Instagram, like nothing about training camp on the Instagram. It's like him selling like a kid's book that I assume a family member of his wrote or something, unless he's writing children's books. Family man, Trevin Giles, I could see that. But are you all in? Because I think Gustafsson is all in. And I'll go with the person who's all in, who was ready to fight on Saturday, who had another opponent. Now, when you're looking at this matchup, you have to consider that Giles' losses are to solid competition. Some of them have aged like fine wine. Look what happened to Charlie Radke a couple weeks ago. However, I do think he's going to get outstruck here. So there's a lot of UFC experience on the side of Giles. You have to be, always tentative when you see the UFC newcomer. Circumstantially in this matchup, I think he's a better striker. I think he defends the takedowns. I think he pours on late. I love your call of a late finish for Gustafsson. That makes sense to me too.
Hey, I like this comment here. What's up, fellas? Miss you, boys. Does anyone else feel like they're going through withdrawals when we have no UFC on Saturdays? Fucking hate that shit. You know what? For me, normally I do, but I needed a fucking week off. I needed a Saturday to reset, especially after an Apex card and knowing the next card forthcoming was Apex. I needed that week off to miss the UFC and then come back to an Apex card and be like, okay, after this, June is all badass fight nights and pay-per-views. So I get what you're saying, though, because very relatable. So shout out to you, Ken. Big W.
Shout out. I was on a beach somewhere in Hawaii, so it was not bad. I did not have a bad weekend, besides slicing my fucking ankle open on a coral when I was snorkeling in Lanai. I did not have a bad weekend. Okay. So no, it was a welcome little break and kind of whets the appetite again. I want to see some fist fights and looking at this card, there's a lot of matchups where I went, damn, that's who am I going to pick here? Holobaugh and Leavitt. I'm like, fuck, fights you never thought you'd see, This is a good one. Trevin Giles, the UFC experience does give me pause, AJ. I mean, the level of competition he's seen across from him, how nervous is he really going to be seeing a UFC newcomer in Gustafsson after, all the opposition he's had? Him asking for 10 pounds up is a red flag. So let's go with the guy who I believe is going to have 3-round cardio and we already believed is a better striker.
Now, as far as the odds, Gustafsson -160, Trevin Giles at +140. The KO for Gustafsson, who I do think is live for a finish, currently sitting at +155. If you just want to go inside distance, it sits at +100. You have to assume that Gustafsson sticks to his trade, which is relentless pressure, bullying opponents backwards, and just being an absolute fucking dog and wilting people. And I don't think Giles survives the onslaught.
Yeah, the exactly the pace, the pressure, the weather he's willing to walk through. I think by the third round, Giles will be huffing and puffing. I think the take is perfect. I think third round finish for Gustafsson.
Let's go. Gustafsson, the pick for me, the pick for the Finch, and also a piece of my Lock City parlay. Let's keep it running. Next fight, we got Jordan Leavitt versus Kurt Holobaugh. Now, Finch, you had just mentioned this fight, so I'm actually really curious to hear you take first on this one.
I think Kurt Holobaugh's, better at striking, and I think that I heard your breakdown of this, by the way, just so you know. I already know what's coming, so I'm gonna pre-respond to it. I know you have faith in Jordan Leavitt's wrestling. My faith is not as high as yours. I know you doubt Kurt Holobaugh's wrestling. That I understand. We saw, Trey Ogden just staple him to the ground, man. So there's that issue. I'm giving your whole breakdown, but you mentioned how Kurt Holobaugh is active off of his back. That won't fucking matter here, AJ. I mean, I agree with you 100% because Jordan Leavitt to get submitted by Kurt Holobaugh, that's 1 out of 100. That would be crazy, right? If anybody's getting a submission, you would think it's the Monkey King. And I think Jordan Leavitt should be the favorite. I'll pick Jordan Leavitt, but Kurt Holobaugh being better at striking is a problem. Kurt Holobaugh wears 38 pretty well, and his jiu-jitsu is good enough, I think, to survive, probably. And so where do they spend this fight? That's really the question here. Can Jordan Leavitt wrestle him to the ground is the question. I don't have a lot of faith in Jordan Leavitt's wrestling. I think Jordan Leavitt will, get some takedowns defended here and spend some time on the feet and get cracked a little bit. I think we're in for a fight. Who has the bigger advantage? Jordan Leavitt in the top position should be able to take the back and do some quality work. I just feel like he loses around here and Kurt Holobaugh gives him a fight. This is not that well-rounded of a fighter in Jordan Leavitt. I think he's jiu-jitsu with a little bit of the other stuff. It's a 38-year-old Kurt Holobaugh. Does he spend enough time on the feet to get it done? Maybe not. I'll go Jordan Leavitt, but I must say your breakdown influenced me.
Jordan Leavitt to pull through. I like Holobaugh's striking, but I know Leavitt's going to be in on the takedown. Like with Holobaugh, you start shooting on him, he's falling over, man. Takedown defenses look worse over recent years, and he's not getting any younger. I don't think he's getting any better at takedown defense. Whereas like with Jordan Leavitt, he's 29. I'm sure he could have improved since his last fight with Chase Hooper.
Fair.
So,
but is there a threat on the feet at all? It's like,
no.
I think Kurt can make this a fight. But if Jordan Leavitt gets on top of him, it's a problem because Kurt Holobaugh's stand-ups are not there.
I think that, at least in my mentality, the Leavitt performance could be influenced by the Trey Ogden performance. Take Kurt Holobaugh down. I think that's a good path to victory for him. Mix in the grappling. Use your superior ground skills. At the end of it all, Kurt Holobaugh on the feet, he's dangerous for sure. But when you're talking about Leavitt on top, I think he's secure in position, and Holobaugh's not going to be able to get back up to his feet. So
you want to see him twerk again, bro? Come on, man.
No, it's not what I want to see. I'm just telling you what I think.
AJ's down to see a little twerk at the end of this fight.
Listen, you know what? If it was not Leavitt, maybe what's the girl twerking?
Maybe Eileen Perez. That'd be better.
Yeah, then I'm glad to watch. But this year, I'd rather. Leavitt said he's not going to twerk anymore, so I think that would give him up. He said no more of that. He's realizing people don't like it.
Yeah, Norman would be better. No, he could dance. I'm just fucking around. Hey, man, it separates him. It might be a little flamboyant.
Zesty. Bro. That's what zesty. It's
That's what my little cousin Pi was just saying. That's what she was just saying this weekend. Zesty.
That's funny.
That is funny. The kids nowadays with zesty. Yeah, man. I could see Jordan Leavitt getting it done, but when I first looked at this fight, I thought, fuck, Kurt Holobaugh could outstrike him. I saw he was a dog. I'm like, ooh, if he could just defend takedowns, the wrestling's kind of not there for either of them. But Yeah, if Jordan Leavitt gets on top of him, it'll start being the beginning of the end. And I could just imagine, Kurt trying to play jiu-jitsu off of his back and having issues with Jordan Leavitt's jiu-jitsu is nice, so we'll go with him.
Odds for the fight: Jordan Leavitt -245, Kurt Holobaugh +210, and then Leavitt on the scorecards +150. Leavitt's odds have gotten wider. I do think he pulls through, though. I feel like Kurt Holobaugh's past his prime. Leavitt, takedown, control, embraces the grind a little bit. And, I think grappling heavy display. So Leavitt for the W, man.
It's something you mentioned. See, anybody can just look at that Kurt Holobaugh's 38 and be like, you mentioned that Jordan Leavitt's 29 and that he could get better. That really did light a light bulb up. That is true. When you see jumps in skill, they're more likely to happen around that age, right? So, what are the chances we see a greatly improved Kurt Holobaugh? Slim. What are the chances that we see a greatly improved Jordan Leavitt? Reasonable. So that I thought was a brilliant take on your other video too.
Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate the compliment. Thanks, bro. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
And you know what? Made me go Leavitt. So let's go.
Leavitt for the W for us both. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Cool matchup of Brazilian flyweights who I would say specialize in grappling for sure. We got Alan Nascimento. I know. Alan Nascimento versus Jafel Filho. I feel like Alan Nascimento is a bit more athletic, a bit physically stronger. And I've always had a feeling that Nascimento had top 15 skills. I think that Filho is relatively versatile. I mean, he knocked out Robert Echeverria on Contender Series, and Echeverria is now on Ultimate Fighter too. And, he's a decent talent. That was impressive for sure. And Filho had a great fight with Mokaev where he nearly got the knee bar. There's been good moments for Filho. But, man, I just think Nascimento has the rub. Something a little more athletic, a little longer, a little physically stronger. I think Nascimento in a weird fight can pull this one out against Filho. But definitely one of those matchups where it's like, shit, could go either way because of the what-if factor. What if? What is Filho? What if he's the better wrestler? He lands takedowns and Nascimento's trying to throw up subs from bottom. He ain't submitting Filho from bottom position. And I don't think Nascimento is, super likely to submit Filho either. And then when I think about the striking, I think Nascimento's more powerful and more athletic, even though he doesn't have knockouts. He doesn't. I think when you look at his style, though, there's more athleticism to his striking. But Filho, he's got decent volume, but I don't know, something with the way that he boxes. I'm like, I don't think he's getting through Nascimento with those punches. I think Nascimento can find a way, but I get the Filho argument. I've seen it a lot, and I don't think that it's a crazy take in a 50-50 fight. I even admitted this on my show yesterday. I said, initially I wrote down Filho, and then I went against it. I said, no, I'm going to write down Nascimento. So I've been kind of flip-flopped here. So that tells me don't bet.
That's hilarious. You ready for me? I originally had Nascimento, and I'm about to flip to Filho.
That's crazy.
I was completely sold on Nascimento. First off, split decision with Tagir Ulanbekov, but I was very sold on the way he fucked up Carlos Hernandez. He made Carlos Hernandez look like boy versus man. The way he was able to out-grapple him was so powerful. I'm like, I'm picking this fucking guy against strikers all day. And then pull out after pull out, canceled fight after canceled fight. The dude hasn't fought since 2023? I mean, he had one fight in 2023. He had one fight. Was it one fight last year or one fight in 2022? A lot of inactivity. As to where Filho fucked up Ode Osborne, made him, let's just be honest, made him quit. Beat Amir Albazi in grappling. Amir Albazi can fucking grapple. Filho's activity, I respect. So although at first glance, I thought Nascimento, okay, has trained with Charles Oliveira and them, probably, a little bit better at striking and can deal with the Filho grappling. I like the momentum of Filho. I like the, I think that he can cancel out the skills of Nascimento and that this thing is a fucking, really close, really good fight. So with both of these guys, I think underrated, right? I think both of these two in other matchups I'd be picking. Here they are fighting each other. Great jiu-jitsu on both sides. I'm super excited to see it. Slight lean for the more active fighter, although, again, full transparency for the people. When I first saw the card and I wrote down my picks, it was Nascimento.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where I think you could argue either side, and it's a cool clash of styles. I think split decision could end up being the outcome here. I could see very competitive grappling exchanges and close moments in the striking. Definitely a cool matchup that I'm excited to actually watch happen. As far as throwing Nascimento in a parlay, not really. Maybe if you want to go long shot or Filho, maybe you want to go plus money if you like the dog. What do you think? Does Filho call your name as an underdog bet and pick, or do you feel
hit me with the odds?
Right now, Filho is plus money, not crazy. He's plus 129. Nascimento's minus 149.
Fuck, dude, this fight's too hard to pick. Nascimento scares me because he's strong as fuck. He's strong. And Filo's jiu-jitsu is beautiful, but he's not strong like that. Like I'm pretty impressed by Nascimento's ability to control, as to where Filo's pure jiu-jitsu is a little slicker. It's a fun one, bro. Nah, fuck betting on this thing.
Yeah, stay on the sidelines and chill. This is a badass fight. We're gonna witness who can make a splash towards top 15. Because I will assume the winner most likely gets a top 15 fight next. And Nascimento's a hard matchup, and Filho for a lot of the top 15.
I'm saying,
I just think in my brain, I'm like, Nascimento's grappling skills, I don't know why I feel like they match up better. Like if you put Joshua Van versus Nascimento, I'm like, fuck, I think Nascimento might get him. Whereas Filho, I'm like, I think Van can handle him. I think Van can stop a takedown, knock him out. Not MMA math though. It doesn't matter because you beat this guy doesn't mean you beat that guy, even if he lost to that guy there. We'll find out. Badass fight, man. We're on opposite ends on this one, bro, but definitely a 50-50 one.
Yeah, but we're both close to the center, and I think these two will be as well in that cage. I think it's going to be a fun one. They're making the Brazilians beat each other up. It's too bad. Like I said, I'd be picking a lot of I'd be picking Filho and Nascimento against a lot of that bottom top 15 area. I do think these guys are top 10 fighters. Maybe not top 5, but I do think these guys are good.
Let's go. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight on the card. This is actually, I think, a pretty good matchup. And it starts off our main card too. So if you guys are watching and enjoying, make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I'm closing in on 47,900, which essentially means we're closing in on 48,000 subscribers this Saturday. So, join the community, be a part of this thing, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the take. Zachary Reese versus Duško Todorović, man. I got to go Zachary Reese to knock Duško Todorović out. I can't pick Duško. And Finch is giving me a look. Now I'm thinking he's thinking something else. I don't know what he's about to say. Hold on.
No, you were talking like this is a good fight. I was hoping you were about to pick Duško, dude.
Nah, I'm thinking it's a good fight because there's a highlight reel incoming. Reese is more explosive and athletic. He's sharper with his striking. I get it. Azamat Bakoyev destroyed him, but Bakoyev is a beastly wrestler with power. Right? Yes, Cody Brundage slammed him on his head, but that was, 4 fights ago, and he's won 2 fights since that point. Duško, knees are falling apart. He's getting injured in training. He's getting injured in his damn fights. He's coming off a knockout loss in round 1 against Abdul Malik back in November. Fight before that, he blew out his knee in March in 2023 against Leroy Duncan. In 2022, he does have a win over the Beverly Hills Ninja, but let's not forget he was getting his ass kicked early in that fight. I think Zachary Reese is going to knock Duško out. And I feel like Duško is just one of those guys that came to the UFC as like a hyped prospect and just flat, absolutely flat. His wins are against the bottom of the barrel. There's really no notable wins. The biggest W he has really on his record is that Jordan Wright win back in 2022. And has fought twice since then, losing both, injured in one, knocked out in one. And I think another knockout loss incoming for him. I'll say Reese.
Duško's too stupid. He's too wild. He's too reckless. He's too unreliable. I think Zachary Reese is just far too dangerous. You know, Reese has the ability to put him out in the first round. Reese has the ability to kickbox him technically and just beat him in a decision. You know, Reese has some ability on the ground too. We've seen him score nice KOs. I'm thinking of that fucking uppercut he rocked Julian Marquez with. Jose Medina was it he beat. I mean, you know, these are quality wins that I respect, as to where Jordan Wright, one of the more unathletic people we've ever seen fight. You know, spoken as a pasty white boy myself. I feel like Reese is a death sentence for Todorović. I really do. I think Reese is a lock here.
The odds for the fight, Reese is a -235 favorite, which, like, I have a feeling you'll look back in hindsight and say, damn, he could have been 4-1. And then the knockout prop for Reese, not great, -110. If you're on the side of Dushko, maybe you like that dog. He's calling your name. It's +200. I'm going to go with Reese. You know, the one thing about this fight that I don't like is if you look at Todorovic's wins, it's ground and pound. You look at Reese getting slammed on his head and ground and pounded by Bakoyev. It's like, you know, methods of losses you could kind of compare if you want to be nitpicky, but I think Reese probably destroys Todorović. He also got some nasty body kicks, man. Hella snap on his body kicks. And I think that power in his hands too. I think he catches Todorović and puts him away.
Yeah, I think Todorović just has too many holes in the game, swings too wide. You know, you could call him chinny, but really I think it's a fight IQ problem. Exciting to watch, but that's not the type of matchup you want against Reese. You want a powerhouse wrestler, you know, and I just don't think he has the fight IQ to put that together, AJ. I don't. I'm going to go Zach Reese knockout.
Zach Reese knockout. Finchman and I both in agreement, starting the main card off right. Let's keep running. Next fight on the main card, the ladies going after it. We got Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. I'm going to pick Macy Chiasson to win a competitive fight against Ketlen Vieira here. Chiasson's riding some momentum right now. Recent wins. The loss even to Aldana, it was a fight she was doing well in and winning. She even was able to win the first round against Raquel Pennington. I like Chiasson overall. Her kickboxing, obviously being very tall at 5'11" and long from range, is pretty clean. Solid enough stand-up, especially for the women's divisions. Clinch work is underrated. She's very strong in the clinch, has good takedowns as well. Ketlen Vieira did fight hard against Kayla Harrison, but she got dominated. She has like shorter punches. What do I mean by that? She likes to throw more close range punches, more hooks, whereas Chiasson a little better with straight shots. And then I feel like if they tie up in the clinch, I could see Chiasson being the one that dictates the clinch positions. And I believe that Chiasson, fairly competitive fight with Vieira, but a very winnable fight for her. So the pick for me is going to be Macy Chiasson by a decision. I think she elevates herself towards that top 5.
I mean, remember though, she was losing to Mayra Bueno Silva before the cut. You know, Macy Chiasson, very, very gifted with her length, with her kickboxing, but Ketlen Vieira can fucking kickbox. I mean, you know, Ketlen Vieira getting beat up by Kayla Harrison, it's like, y'all, who's not? And she fucking elbowed Kayla in the face. She had Kayla bleeding. Remember that fucking mouse on Kayla's forehead? You know, Ketlen Vieira was in a fight with Kayla. She got, you know, out grappled, but I think there are some dudes that Kayla Harrison will out grapple. Ketlen Vieira is going to be a tough matchup for Macy Chiasson. Both share wins against Pani Kianzad, although Macy finished her. The Raquel Pennington split decision, close fight, beat Holly Holm. You know, didn't look that great in her win against Miesha Tate, but still beat Miesha Tate in 2021 when Miesha was a little closer to her prime. Yeah, it's a fucking coin flip of a ladies fight. I think it's a really good matchup. I think Ketlen Vieira can get it done, dude. Macy Chiasson, I love that. Is she 5'11"?
Yeah.
Tall as fuck.
Tall as fuck.
That's great. 33 years old, 5'11", on a roll, you know. Pani Kianzad and Mayra Bueno Silva, solid wins. But again, the Mayra Bueno Silva fight, she didn't whoop Mayra Bueno Silva's ass. She cut her. I think, you know, the Brazilian striker could maybe keep it close enough there and then hurt her on the inside. Can she take Macy Chiasson down? Because then it would be an ass whooping. That would be really smart. You know, we're talking about Jose Aldo's team, behind Ketlen Vieira, Andre Pederneiras, who is a great coach. Can they make this an MMA fight against a Macy Chiasson? That'd be really smart. If she just point fights on the outside the whole time, Macy Chiasson, but they're in that little cage, man. Like I said, she busted Kayla Harrison up with elbows in the clinch. Could she do some damage here to Macy? It could make the difference. 3-round fight between these ladies. Ketlen slows down a little bit as it goes on, so I don't mind the 3 rounds either. Slight lean to Ketlen Vieira, but if you're picking Macy Chiasson, you're not crazy at all.
I think it's going to be a competitive ladies fight that probably goes 3 rounds. The odds for the over 2.5 are -350, probably does. Chiasson is -125 as a slight favorite on the money line. Vieira +105. I'd be interested to see what the spread looks like. We'll find out tomorrow what the spread is. No, we have it here. Macy Chiasson -3. No, I'm not doing that. +180. If Vieira's going to make it close, it's -240 if she can get it. Relatively competitive. We can get some 29-28s across the fucking slate, or maybe even her winning on one card. I think that we're live for a split decision. We're live for competitive moments. Something tells me with Chiasson's momentum, though, I got a favor, but close fight.
Yeah, man. Another one of these in this card where I was like, damn, for real? Y'all gonna give me this? Ketlen Vieira dog money right now?
Yeah, slight dog, 4.5. Yeah.
What? Crazy. Over 2.5 -350. So likely. So fucking
the
likely.
Over seems damn likely, man.
So likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at some of these overs. Yeah, man, got a good fight between these girls. Dare I say split decision? Dare I say it? Yeah, I'll think about this one. But Ketlen Vieira is good. I've heard people shit on Ketlen Vieira. Nah, man, she's competent. She's not championship material. I think she's shown us that. But is Macy Chiasson on her way to a title shot? Saturday will tell.
Saturday will tell. Let's go. Finch, man, going Ketlen Vieira. I'm going Macy Chiasson. Let's keep running up this card. Next fight, we got light heavyweights going after it. We have Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. I'm going to go with Bruno Lopes to pull off the upset in this fight. And it's an interesting take, right? Because I feel a bit of intuition on the call. I had this type of feeling when Oban Elliott was fighting Preston Parsons a while ago. I was like, younger Bruno Lopes, pretty talented. Like, he came into the Contender Series the first time when he lost to Brennison Ibero. He came in as this massive favorite. Like, the dude had a lot of hype on the Brazilian regional scene, and he has now lived up to it, winning even against, Gadzi Asulov in his UFC debut. It was impressive the way he was able to close distance and land shots on the inside. And an underrated element of this fight, I do think, is a small cage. Dustin Jacoby's a pretty mobile light heavyweight, and he hasn't fought in the small cage since 2022. And, it was a split decision loss to Khalil Roundtree, which, looking at it now, not too shabby, but styles make the fights. I think that Bruno Lopes brings an MMA-based game plan. I definitely expect him to be able to box in the pocket with Jacoby. I think that he could get touched up a bit by the kickboxer in the mid and long range for sure. But with the small cage, I think Jacoby's back is going to be towards the cage a fair amount in this fight. And I think Bruno Lopes can mix in some grappling and be an MMA fighter here. And I feel like he can pull off a win. I think Bruno's relatively good. Definitely more fight IQ than Petrino, who ended up getting badly chinned by Jacoby. But Vitor Petrino is also picking Anthony Smith up and putting himself into a guillotine. I think he's got some of the worst fight IQ in MMA right now. Bruno Lopes isn't that dumb. I'm going to say Bruno Lopes pulls off a competitive win over, the dangerous kickboxer and now at this point, longtime vet, but more of a guy that, holds down the fort for the top 20 now. And had lost 2 fights prior to the win over Petrino, badly knocked out by Dom Reyes, which no shame in that. Reyes is a fucking monster right now, but also got dropped bad late against Alonzo Menafield. And I think Lopes could have some success in this matchup. So I'm gonna go with Lopes.
Yeah, Lopes 1-0 in the UFC against Magomed Gadzhimagomedov. Not a bad win to have. And, young, 32 years old, sort of in his prime. It's a fun matchup for sure. I'm going to go Dustin Jacoby. I am impressed by the Victor Petrino knockout. Yes, I am. And by the way, I picked Dominic Reyes over Dustin Jacoby. So I don't think I overrate Jacoby at all.
No.
His kickboxing should be better. I'm going to trust it here. I'm going to say that he can defend the takedowns, if those takedowns get thrown at him, which would be intelligent. Like even if Lopes doesn't think he could get him down, it would be intelligent to try to wear him out and try to get his hands dropping a little bit. But Dustin Jacoby's kickboxing's nice. He's got the professional kickboxing experience, a lot of UFC experience. Dominic Reyes, Alonzo Menefield, Kennedy and Nzechukwu, who, by the way, he beat. Khalil Roundtree Jr. went to a split decision with, beat Michael and Jacek, etc. He's got a couple quality wins, and I do think he's going to be a little bit better than a Bruno Lopes in probably a good fight. More sound, Jay, and that's what I think makes the difference here. Bruno Lopes fighting somebody who's got real UFC experience, and I think will be a little bit too much over 3 rounds to a decision.
Okay. Finchman going Jacoby decision. I'll lean towards the Lopes side. Close fight, I feel, is pretty live. Over 2.5 is -120. Over 1.5 is -210. I definitely could see like a paced out fight between the two. From my side, at least, Finch, chasing anything other than just Lopes plus money on the underdog call seems like an unnecessary stretch, because he is plus 170, which is a nice tag. What about you, Finch? You like any of these calls here as far as prop betting? You think Jacoby
I don't hate a Jacoby money line. 2-1.
2-1.
I mean, yeah, I think there's a clear pathway here for Jacoby to just technically kickbox and get to a 29-28 or a 30-27. Maybe I'm not giving enough love to this prospect, AJ.
We'll see. Listen, we find outside. That's why they do the fights,
That's why they do the fights. I think Jacoby can out kickbox him and stay in it. Jacoby's pretty fucking, his kickboxing's pretty nice. He's not easy to take down either.
No, he's not easy to take down. I think Bruno could have some success in the pocket, which could make for trips or potentially takedowns against the cage viable options, but definitely like open mat takedowns, just blasting him to the mat. Not as hard to do with a Dustin Jacoby.
Yeah, and he keeps his hands up and his chin tucked. It's not like he's in there banging, he actually beats the bangers sometimes. Go with Jacoby. But hey, fun fight. Another fun fight. I think, as far as name value, you're not going to get crazy name value on this card, but you're getting some fucking matchups.
You're getting some good fights for sure. I think we're going to get some violence. I'm looking forward to it. Finchman going Jacoby. I'm going Lopes. Let's keep running. Next fight, feature fight of the night. We got Brahimaj versus Billy Ray Goff. Somebody in chat said, I'm not going Savage Mode USA in this hoe anymore. What are you talking about, bro? Billy Ray Goff is the most American motherfucking name in the history of American names. I'm going Billy Ray Goff by knockout. I think he's going to break Brahimaj. I think he's going to rip big shots to the body. I think he's going to force Brahimaj into a dog fight. And when things get tough, I think Brahimaj is getting clipped with some big punches and going down and out. I'm going Billy Ray Goff by KO. He's going to break Brahimaj.
Let's go. You motherfuckers are on Brahimaj because he knocked out Mickey Gall. Come on, son. And by the way, I got some respect for Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall 2024, 2025, not bad. Mickey Gall 2021, yeah, that's a different story. But the Brahimaj knocked out a decent version of Mickey Gall.
No, he knocked out a worse version of Mickey Gall.
Why do you say that?
Bro, when I'm watching him throw, I'm like, he's gotten worse at boxing. When he was younger, he was better. I don't know what the fuck.
When he fought CM Punk, his striking was terrible.
I think he was faster.
Mike Perry walked him down like he was a fucking puppy. He just slapped the shit out of him. Mickey Gall was scared to strike back then. What the fuck are you talking about? Mickey Gall's striking was awful.
I think it's gotten worse.
What the fuck?
I think it's gotten worse, man. He's gotten slower. Maybe he's technically
Mickey
better.
Gall
He looks
was
slower.
terrified of Mike Perry. You remember that?
But it's Mike Perry, though. Mike Perry's terrifying a lot of guys on the
Mike
feet.
Perry's half retarded. I like Mike Perry, by the way. I mean,
He's a good bare knuckle fighter. He's good with his hands.
Yeah, we've worked with Mike Perry. Mike Perry's a nice guy. Gave me some interviews. Sorry, Mike, but did you see Mike Perry just spar Sean Strickland in the gym?
I saw them doing a little work. Yeah,
you saw that?
Yeah.
Mike Perry posted it. He's fucking falling on the ground and shit. He's swinging crazy. I mean, Connor Tierney was in the comments talking shit like, bro, you tough, but you can't box, It's I don't think you need to run away and cower from Mike Perry. Talking a lot of shit today. Sorry. But Mickey Gall's not a great striker. Anyway, I think Brahimaj knocking out apparently the worst version ever of Mickey Gall is it keeps him in the UFC, but I don't think it's going to move him up as to where I could see Goff moving up in the division. Powerful dude, well-rounded. I think he does well in the little cage. I think he's hard to submit. Ramiz Brahimaj, really nice with the jiu-jitsu, but I don't think he puts it together here. Give me Goff and, probably on the scorecards, but I could see him getting Brahimaj out of there via TKO as well.
I think he's going to TKO him. I like the way Billy Goff fights. Pressure-based dog fighter, willing to walk through the fire. I don't think Brahimaj is wrestle fucking him. Brahimaj has been trading wins and losses since 2018, pre-UFC. Isn't that interesting? And I think the trend continues.
He's exciting. People like to watch him fight. He finishes motherfuckers, He's a wild man. And yeah, Goff just more reliable, like you said, walks people down. Who's the Asian dude he knocked down?
Kinoshita?
Yes. It's beautiful. Just like pressure, bop, 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 catching him on the last shot. I could see him doing that here. So, runs the risk. I mean, Brahimaj is dangerous, Brahimaj can submit people. Brahimaj apparently can knock people out. But let's say Goff late.
Goff for the W. Just the money line, minus 360, plus 285 for Brahimaj. Over 1.5 is minus 155, and then a Goff KO win plus 135. I do think he gets a stoppage. I think that's pretty damn live. I think he's going to wilt Brahimaj. I like Billy Ray Goff's brawling style, and I think a win. W incoming.
Powerful fucking contender, man.
Yeah.
Powerful contender. I think he'll be a little nervous against Brahimaj. You got a little bit of a name. Somebody who's been in the UFC. I think it'll look good here, man. We're on the same side.
Let's go. Goff for the W for us both. Let's keep running. Next fight is our co-main event. We got Mateusz Gamrot versus Leavitt Klein. Finch, I'm going to let you break this one down for us first, man.
Fuck, man. I want Mateusz Gamrot to win. Can he get better? Mateusz, you got the same problem consistently. We can all see it. I know Mike Brown sees it. When you take people down, you have no ability to hold them down, okay? And you get dropped in every fight, It's like, how am I supposed to bet my hard-earned money on Mateusz Gamrot when he gets fucking cracked by everybody? His knee hits the mat every fucking fight, and he over-wrestles and the same issues. So Leavitt Klein is competent. I think Leavitt Klein can outstrike a Mateusz Gamrot. The question is, can Mateusz Gamrot score enough takedowns bypassing the striking? And can he finally start holding somebody down? I don't think it's out of the question that Mateusz Gamrot gets a little bit better with his control, is a little bit more patient on the feet, learned from the Dan Hooker fucking nightmare performance. It was still a close fight, by the way, but he was like a 4-1 favorite, man. He really fucked that up. That really, I have PTSD from fucking betting on Mateusz Gamrot fights, AJ. Okay? So I definitely ain't doing that.
No.
He could win this fight. I mean, Leavitt Klein is a test, but if you play the video game right, he can get past Leavitt Klein. Leavitt Klein, fairly dangerous, better at striking, not better at wrestling. And Mateusz Gamrot's got cardio for days. So a few adjustments to his game and he can win. And he's at a great team. That's what the fuck I'm saying. I'm saying, like, he's got the people around him. He's got all the tools in front of him. He just needs to use them. So hell no, I'm not betting on Mateusz Gamrot, but there is a pathway. You know, here I am. I got to pick a fight. He could fuck this up, AJ. I'll go with Leavitt Klein getting it done. But I'll be honest, it's not a, again, if you could play Mateusz Gamrot like a video game, he can win.
Leavitt Klein's a dynamic striker, and he's really explosive, which I think aids into his defensive grappling. And he's got a win over Ignacio Bahamondes some fights ago that's aged pretty well. I didn't think he was all that impressive against Roosevelt Roberts, but to be fair, Roberts stepping in and being freakishly tall, that's a factor too. It's a complete polar opposite stylistic matchup with Gamrot. Gamrot's going to be chain wrestling. I do think Gamrot's going to be able to wrestle and land takedowns. I feel as though we haven't seen Leavitt tested against a guy that has wrestling. I don't know if Leavitt, I genuinely don't think that Leavitt is knocking Mateusz Gamrot out. I could see him stunning him, but Gamrot does seem to have really good recovery. And I think that goes with what you said of him being an amazing, physical condition. But I definitely agree. A problem with Gamrot is lack of control over wrestling. But I do think he could wrestle all night. And it's not like Gamrot is an awful striker. I know he does get dropped a lot, but he still cracked Dan Hooker in the pocket, throwing big shots with a guy like Dan Hooker, who's got, a lot of wins striking. I feel like Mateusz Gamrot on a competitive decision is pretty live here. I understand Leavitt Klein coming up right now, 4 years younger, formerly a featherweight, moved up to lightweight and really has started to find some flow. But when I look at, the level of opposition, and I did a little side-by-side comparison for myself, I'm like, okay, win over Roosevelt Roberts, win over Thiago Moises, win over AJ Cunningham, win over Ignacio Bahamondes. I'd say of that 4-fight winning streak, I would argue that maybe 2 of them are impressive with the Moises W, even though Moises just got destroyed by Jared Gordon. Still, at the time, it looked good. And then the Ignacio Bahamondes win has aged actually really well. But on the opposite side, Mateusz Gamrot has been fighting high-level opposition. Split decision loss in a war with Dan Hooker. Yes, RDA gave him a little trouble in the fight, but was able to dominate and wrestle later into the matchup and pull off a nice win over RDA. Even though it's an older RDA, still an effective RDA that can do okay against, some unranked talent. I don't know about the top 15. The Fiziev fight was a flawed win because of the injury. The Jalen Turner win was really close, but to be fair, Gamrot, short notice, weird matchup. Things are a factor there. Beneil Dariush in the fight before did beat him. Before that, he beat Arman Sarukian. He's fought killers, man. Mateusz Gamrot has been fighting the best at lightweight, whereas I can't say the same for Leavitt. Obviously, now is the time we find out what Leavitt brings to the table, but I'm not sold. I like Leavitt, but I don't love him. And I think that Mateusz Gamrot, good cardio, good wrestling, mixing in some striking, competitive 29-28, back and forth decision. And the small cage could be a positive thing because Gamrot could put Klein's back there and wrestle from there more. And maybe, honestly, bro, with Gamrot, maybe he's got to use more fucking clinch control. Fuck even taking people down. Control against the cage, just dirty box him like fucking Gustafsson on the damn prelims and rip some big shots in close. I'm going to say that Gamrot gets a nitty-gritty and competitive win.
Yeah, the little cage could help him. No question about it. Gamrot at range isn't great. Leavitt should be able to beat him there. But in the clinch situations, Gamrot hustles. Gamrot's like always transitioning. He's like the Energizer Bunny beating that fucking drum. He's always trying to move. And it's like he really needs to, like Randy Couture and Brandon Vera is an example I always use, where Randy Couture could not take him down. He could not strike with him. So you'd think he's fucked. But all he needs is that Greco-Roman wrestling on the fence. He fucking takes that underhook, he jacks it up, he starts punching you with the other hand. It's like, yeah, Mateusz should absolutely be using the wall here. He's at a great team. They should solve the problem. then they should have beat Dan Hooker. It's like, you know, you watch the Beneil Dariush fight back and you're like, why is this dude doing jujitsu? Like, why is he rolling with Beneil Dariush? And Beneil Dariush was excellent in that fight. You got to give credit where credit's due. It was a beautiful performance. But Mateusz Gamrot, we always say it, over wrestles. Ludovic Klein could crack him. I mean, in Vegas where they score on damage, you know, Ludovic Klein could do more damage. Fun fight.
Fun fight for sure. I'm looking forward to it, man. Wise, I'm very appreciative. Thank you for $4.99. All depends on how well Klein can defend the takedowns. He wins on the feet. Agreed, man. Yep. With the takedown threat, though, we've seen it time and time again. It does fuck up the flow of good strikers because that threat of the takedown now stifles your offense because you got to worry about stopping these damn takedowns. Thank you, Wise, for $4.99. Big W.
Thank you, Wise.
Let's go. Odds for the fight. He's a wise man. Minus 150 Gamrot, plus 130 Ludovic Klein. The over 2.5 at minus 300, I think, is live as fuck. I think that over is super live. I don't think we get any
dog. You're not showing Ludovic love. He wins by decision. I mean, he's definitely done that, but I could see him cracking Mateusz, man. I think he can potentially get Mateusz out of there. Yeah, Mateusz was in trouble against Dan Hooker, bro. Mateusz was hanging on by a fucking thread. It is Dan Hooker, but Mateusz was hanging on by a fucking thread. Remember?
I know.
Remember him hanging on to the fucking leg? I've been there, bro. My first MMA fight, I fought this dude who was all jacked. I'm 18 years old. I'm sitting in class thinking, like, this guy I'm fighting's 28 or something, 26, 28. I'm like, I'm 18. I'm like, so he could be my teacher right now? This is weird, you know? I go fight him on Saturday. He punches me in the face. I shoot a takedown. He defends. I remember seeing my blood on the mat, being like, this is a fucked up sport, you know? And, you know, and Mateusz had that fucking moment against Dan Hooker. Like when he's diving on the legs and he's seeing the blood on the ground. I could imagine Ludovic putting him in those spots. Ludovic's got some pop, dude. So I'm not running at the over. Why is the over good money?
I mean, it's minus 300,
bro. And you get minus 400 for the ladies overs. I ain't trying to give out no bets right now, but you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I'll say this, bro. Size is a factor here. Ludovic Klein stands 5'7". I don't know if that's a mismark, but he's supposedly given up 3 inches in height to Mateusz Gamrot, which I feel like Gamrot's 5'7". He's 5'10". Gamrot don't look 5'10" to me. Maybe he's 5'8", right? Like, what the fuck? I got to see the face off. The weigh-ins.
Weigh-ins is interesting. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I believe that. 5'7" Klein, 5'10" Gamrot.
Huh. Yeah. Well, hey, maybe he has the Volkanovski effect, you know, where the taller guy can't get the takedown because he can't change fucking levels, right? Maybe it's the Volk effect. We'll see what's up. It's a good fight, AJ. It's a fun.
And Klein's got long ass arms, 72.5-inch reach for Klein.
It's like one of 4 fights on the card where I'm like, man, these are fucking coin flips. Very cool fight, and you know, it'd be fun to see Klein get a knockout.
Let's go. Finchman going Klein. I'm going Gamrot. Let's get to the main event. If you guys are watching and enjoying, make sure you guys smash the hell out of that damn like button. And if it's your first time on the show, welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe and tune in to the special 100th episode of Lunchtime Live tomorrow. I got a UFC fighter coming on the show at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So
unannounced name.
I like to surprise people.
Tom Aspinall is coming on the show tomorrow, guys.
Not Tom Aspinall, man. No. I won't lie. No Tom Aspinall. You guys know. Some people know. But I won't announce it officially.
I am not some people, by the way, guys. I just got off the fucking plane. AJ hasn't told me shit. So
listen, I'll tell you after the stream.
All right, cool.
Let's go. Let's get to the fight. Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. My pick, you know what it is, Mike Finch. I'm going with Macy Barber. No, I'm fucking around. I'm going with Blanchfield, dog. Come on.
I really didn't know. I didn't finish your other show yet. Yeah, I was fucking listening to it today, but I didn't finish it. So I really didn't know. Nah, come on. He's the Blanchfield off guy.
I'm a Blanchfield off believer. Her grit, her toughness, her wrestling and grappling ability is very good, but I don't think she's completely outgunned in striking how people are imagining. I think people are looking at Macy Barber in 3-round fights, starting really fast and essentially, emptying the tank with a high output and very ferocious onslaught. She definitely has one. But I feel like Erin Blanchfield can sit in the pocket and mix it up okay. I don't see her getting knocked out. She takes a good shot. She's tough. I think that her grappling skills are live. I think she can land takedowns on Macy Barber. We've seen Macy Barber taken down a bit in previous fights. She looked really good against Caitlin Sermonara, formerly Chukagan, last time out, but completely different stylistic matchup. Erin Blanchfield also 5-round experience. 2 straight fights going 5 rounds. Macy Barber has yet to have that 5-round UFC test, and I think that's a factor here. I think Blanchfield, in a nitty-gritty fight, earlier in the fight, I think it's more competitive, but I think Blanchfield's wrestling starts being effective here. I think she drags Barber down. I think she fights her fairly well in close range, maybe dirty boxing, and I think Erin Blanchfield is going to beat Macy Barber this weekend.
Erin Blanchfield's striking really got exposed against Manon Fiorot. I mean, it bordered on embarrassingly bad. She was getting boxed up really, really nicely by Manon Fiorot, who got her fucking nose broken against Valentina Shevchenko. There are levels to the striking, and Macy Barber's on a nice streak. I mean, Macy Barber's been able to get it done against a big chunk of the division. So Macy Barber is a test for Erin Blanchfield, but she gets held down. I mean, I've seen Macy Barber pinned on her back, and Erin Blanchfield is way too good at jiu-jitsu to be allowing, to allow her to take you down. Like, you can't let her get on top of you. Shit can go south quickly. So I got Erin Blanchfield and I got submission. I do think she finds a way to get Barber out of there. Barber might look good for a little bit, but I do think she's getting dragged onto the ground as soon as there's a couple clinches. The Blanchfieldov thing is real. Now, you hear the there's an AJ coined phrase. You hear the Blanchfieldov and you think wrestling, but it's really jiu-jitsu. She's a blue basement prospect. If you don't know what that is, John Danaher, the best jiu-jitsu coach in jiu-jitsu history, really without a close second, runs that blue basement in New York at Team Henzo Gracie, and she trained there for a while, and you can tell, man, her jiu-jitsu is another level, and I do believe that Macy Barber is going to get strangled in this fight. I think Erin Blanchfield will fuck her up as soon as she gets a takedown. Until she gets the takedown, it's a fight.
Yeah, I think Blanchfield is a lock here, bro. I'd be shocked if she loses, genuinely. I'd be fuck. I'll say it like this. Like, Blanchfield's a savage, man.
And she gets the little cage. It'd be smart to train Macy Barber to and then move right, move left, right? She's got 5 rounds to walk Macy Barber down and drag her onto the mat. I think she's doing it. I think she's gonna mount her and take her back and strangle her.
I like the submission call from you, bro. Submission is plus money right now, sitting at plus 350 if you like Blanchfield's sub. Obviously, money line for Blanchfield, minus 250, a bit on the chalky zone, but still valuable. And then Barber's a plus 210 underdog. My faith is in Erin Blanchfield off to do what she's best at, which is dominate this woman on the ground, especially a Barber who we've seen controlled on the mat a bit. I will say, like, if it's a 3-round fight, that's better for Barber. If it's the big cage, like you said, that's better. But 5 rounds in that small cage, bro, Blanchfield's eventually going to get dominant position. And I don't think Barber's got the knockout power. Barber's going to knock Blanchfield out. How's she going to keep her off of it? She's going to hit her with a huge overhand that flattens her? She's going to kick her in the head? Blanchfield, listen, her striking against Fiorot, she got tuned up. But don't forget, she landed that high kick in round 5. Still something, but you know what that tells me? She doesn't give up on herself, because round 5 she could have quit. So fuck this.
100%. Yeah, her corner's like, you have to finish her. Her corner's like, you have to go out there and finish her in the fist. So she's tough as fuck. I don't question that at all. It's just her striking is, let's at least say, mid, as to where Macy Barber's got more pop. The thing is, Macy Barber wins split decisions and decisions, and she's been able to win by like TKO from ground and pound. I highly doubt she's going to be able to ground and pound Erin Blanchfield. I think when they start grappling, you're going to see a couple levels of difference. I believe in a submission grappling match, it doesn't take Erin Blanchfield more than 3 minutes to submit this girl. She's got to fight her for 25 minutes in an MMA fight. AJ, I think she's getting her out of there.
Let's go. Finchman and I both capping off this card with agreement. Main event call. Both of us going Blanchfield for the W. The comeback card. Finchman and I feel like we've been gone for a month, bro. You know what I'm saying? We had last week, no money line. Then we did it later this week, but we'll be back to Monday next week for the pay-per-view. We got thunderous cards all through June. It is the month of the UFC, fan. Holy shit.
Fucking go, man. They put the posters up at the gym. We had that Alta event. We had Ryan Garcia at the gym on Saturday. We had the Rotolo brothers. We had
shit.
Eric Paulson, Cub Swanson, etc. at the gym on Saturday. So shout out to Ryan Garcia and all them for stopping by. That was cool. And all the posters are up for Kayla Harrison and Raquel Pennington. I saw they just announced Charles Oliveira and the champ. Jesus Christ, everybody's saying it at home. Ilya Taporia. I think AJ just let me die on that one. Ilya Taporia and Charles Oliveira, and the co-main events announced too. Pantoja against Kai Kara France. So that one looks good. A lot of fights to look forward to.
Let's go. I'm sorry, man. It was reminding me of like a Bilal moment. Remember the name?
Drown there, bro. Yeah. The hands were coming up. I'm like, the champ. He's just like, nope. We'll let him. I know Mike has this one, dude. I
know he had it. I believed in you, bro.
Jeez.
Listen, we're not done though, Finch. We gotta concoct a little parlay.
5-hour flight yesterday, bro. Fucking help me out.
Valid excuse. I got my fault. I got you next time. Man.
Go on. Oh yeah. It is. It is a special moment, isn't it?
It's time for the parlays. Let's do it.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up your wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah. Parlay time. Erin Blanchfield can't strike, but she's winning by submission Saturday night. Yeah. First leg of the parlay. Erin Blanchfield hitting the takedown, hitting the choke.
I would have done the same if I was up first, but I'm also going to parlay it up.
I love going first. I'm
going to go with Gustafsson to break Trevin Giles. I would be surprised if Trevin Giles goes out there and has this wow performance against a dangerous guy like Gustafsson, especially because of the short notice. And like Finch pointed out, not full-time fighter. So who knows what his training regimen is like outside of camp. Parlaying those two up together. Let me get the lines for you. We got Gustafsson in that -160 range. And then you have Erin Blanchfield around -230. You get +132 for that parlay. And they tend to hit pretty frequently on this show with the Finchman and I concocting a little one of one. So, hey, let's see.
Bro, they hit at a high clip.
They do.
Folks. A high fucking clip because AJ and I do the Dragon Ball Z fusion and we fucking make it happen. Shout out to Polo Rods. I saw you on the other show. Shout out to MMA Profit. I'm taking over over on Macy air punches. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for her to get Erin Blanchfield out of there, which is the way to do it. Erin Blanchfield, not the best head movement, not good boxing. So that's the way to get her out of there. And Macy just seems to not have the nuclear option. It was a great point by AJ. Wise, Finch, are we getting premium tonight? Absolutely. I'm back in black. So I'm going to give you guys my most confident picks right after this. I'll see you guys over on my channel. I'll give you my 5 most confident picks for this card, which is no easy fucking task, but sometimes with the close odd cards where there's an underdog here and there and there's a couple you pick, those are the ones where you make money. Those are the ones where I've had my best nights, or these little fight nights. So I'm going for it. I got a 5.5-hour flight to study on the way here, so I'm going in. So I'll give you my 5 most confident, and then over on the premium channel I'll drop my favorite bets that I'm going for this week. Always give out a play on the free channel as well if you guys have Telegram. If you don't, get it. And the link is in the description of my video. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes to talk more fist fights.
Hey, check out the Finch man. I got his channel linked up in the live chat. It's been a good show, man. It's nice to be back, bro. Any final words before we sign off, my brother?
I'm excited to hear who this UFC fighter is, bro. I can't leak it after the show. You're not gonna let me leak it on my next show?
Listen,
Can I give a weight class? I'll give a weight class.
You can give the weight. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. We'll do that. I'll make it.
I'm
make it good.
dropping the weight class of
That's fair.
AJ's guest tomorrow night in 15 minutes. I'll see y'all soon.
Let's go. Check out the Finchman Show. I love and appreciate all you savages. Thank you guys for watching. W's to the community. Make sure you guys all run the likes up like crazy and hit subscribe if you haven't. And like Finch just said, tomorrow, it's afternoon though, not night. I'll be bringing the thunder. 100th episode of the Lunchtime Live. Make sure you guys tune into it. I love you all. Thank you guys for watching. We're out of here. See you on the next one. Peace.